While much of the nation came together on 9/11, there was outrage directed at Muslims after Islamic fundamentalists were found to be responsible for the attack. In the decades since, have we learned to become more tolerant as a nation?
Joining us now to discuss this are the Reverend Calvin Butts, Dr. M. Zuhdi Jasser, President of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, and Rabbi Erwin Kula. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
And no, this is not the beginning of a joke where the three of you walk into a bar. We're actually going to talk about something very serious today. And I want to begin with you, Dr. Jasser. How much do you think has changed in this country, for better or for worse, in terms of the American-Muslim relationship since 9/11?
Well, I think initially we all came together as Americans that realized that we were attacked, and you look over this pit of destruction, you realize what it means to be an American, why our families came here and escaped theocracy and all the threats of the Middle East. But in the wake and now in 10 years, I think we have a lot of work to do. Interfaith relations is much more than just kumbaya and the positivity. We have to realize that real interfaith work talks about differences, talks about the fact that a form of Islam attacked us, not my Islam, not the Islam of the vast majority of American Muslims, but it was a theopolitical movement. And if we're going to beat this, the reason we're at a biggest threat now than ever before is we have yet to have the skill sets as an American nation in fighting this and saying that, you know what, our quarrel is not with the religion, but it's with a theopolitical movement, and we need to begin to come together, not only positivity, but how to have the skill sets to discuss and dissect the parts that we want to defeat.
Reverend Butts, in your mind, did all religions and all faiths take a hit on 9/11?
All religions and all faiths took a hit on 9/11. The people who were killed in those buildings were of all religions and all faiths. And when people highlight by either saying Islamic terrorist or Muslim or Christian, that sets people against each other, creates xenophobia. So we have to work hard, very hard, to make sure that religious leaders especially talk and then convey our similarities to our congregations, to the gatherings that we speak to weekly and daily.
Rabbi Kula, Dr. Jasser brought up the point about it can't just be kumbaya. There has to be this honest conversation. Do you think the religious community and then the broader community is ready to have that kind of honest conversation?
I think that the decade has been about moral outrage, anger and fear, and political correctness. We have not done moral repair. Now, moral repair takes very hard work. The first thing it takes is to understand religion did do this. And liberal religious people, and I'm one of them, have to own that there's not this like good religion and bad religion and good people and bad people. No, religion is a very combustible force. And everyone can bring texts and traditions and laws and stories that do very great evil and authenticate evil. And what we have to begin to do is build alternative models that are as fierce, and I think that's kind of what you're saying, that are as strong, that are as passionate, so that those alternative models actually win in the battle of ideas. We have not had a decade of the battle of ideas. We've had a decade of military attempts, some of which are necessary, to ensure security. We have to go from moral outrage to moral repair.
And if you look at the Middle East, the Arab Spring, you finally see Muslim communities taking ownership against their own thugs, their own oppressors, Muslim versus Muslim, to bring forth freedom and democracy. But yet in America, we've sheltered our Muslim communities from having that own internal debate because we're a minority, because of minority politics, etc. We've sheltered them from having that Muslim rebirth of freedom against theocracy, and to look at the root causes of terrorism, which are political Islam and some of these theocratic mindsets.
We've got less than a minute left. The ceremony tomorrow is going to be secular. Mayor Michael Bloomberg has said there will be no religious services taking place here. Are you guys okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with it. I'm disappointed in the mayor. One of the greatest things that happened right after 9/11 was a prayer service at Yankee Stadium. People need their faith. They need their spirituality at a time like this. I'm very shocked at the mayor, and I think that he yielded to political pressure.
Rabbi? I understand that. I think actually this is a I agree that it was in some respects bad, but I think this is a wake-up call to all religious leadership. Religious leadership that's going to simply do the kumbaya doesn't deserve to be there. People died for real reasons having to do with religion. And if we take the wrong people who are doing religion there, then that's another problem. So I think this is a wake-up call to religious leaders on why we weren't there.
Very quickly,
faith attacked us. Faith is the solution. And as long as we don't talk about it, we're going to continue to lose the ideological war.
Okay. Reverend Calvin Butts, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, Rabbi Erwin Kula. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.